lice, and dingleberries.
A good evening, snacks. Welcome aboard.
Hello.
How are you tonight?
Ugh,
Nothing going on?
pretty much.
All right. I still want more food, and I definitely need better weaponry, although that's going to be hard. That's not going to be fun. I don't really know where to start.
Man, this really sucks.
What's up?
Razor Fist wanted to publish his new video, which was a review of a movie, and it can't get past YouTube's copyright claim filter.
Put it on Rumble.
That's exactly what he did. He's got it on unauthorized Rumble, Odyssey, and BitChute. And on his Twitter, it's the pinned tweet right now is the post with all the links. But in order to get it on a YouTube, he's going to have to fight that claim, and it's going to take weeks. So it's like, man, that's
What movie
insane.
was it?
Punisher Warzone, which he says was his favorite Punisher movie, and he's doing it because it was highly requested, because the star of Punisher Warzone, and by the name of Ray Stevenson, passed away recently.
Okay. Makes sense.
I was a huge fan of HBO's Rome, and Ray Stevenson played Titus Pullo, so that was a huge blow to me.
Oh, man.
He died very comparatively young. Because, he was in his 50s, you know. That's, nowadays, that's like nothing.
All right. I thought YouTube was past that. Like, how many video essays are there out there that have, like, dozens of copyrighted movies in them, and YouTube's totally fine with them? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
I don't know either. Oh god, my fucking eyes.
Tired?
No, just my eyes really hurt.
Did you look at pictures of naked Lena Dunham or something?
No, good lord.
Hey, Austin. Yeah, not looking like we're gonna get a good series, huh? So Simmons posted a new podcast yesterday, and I listened to the first part of it today when I was out running
Yay.
errands. So, obviously said a lot of things about the Heat Nuggets game last night. But he was also saying that he thinks that Jimmy Butler is now a top 100 player in NBA history. He was like, doing the math. He was like looking at the achievements, and he thinks even if the Heat lose this series, he thinks he's there. And he was also trying to figure out Jokic, because he's like, I think Jokic is like 25th or so. And if he does win, he probably goes up to like 22 or something, which seems weird because he's 28 years old and was a very slow starter. But at a certain point, like it just like how
Yeah.
is he not at this better than Dirk even somebody like
Right.
that?
Right. At the because again, I'm big on the Jokic hype train. You know, I'm the one saying I believe by the time this boy finishes, if he keeps producing at the level he is, he'll retire the GOAT. That's how high up I am on him. Now, he's already won 2 MVPs, which a very, very short list of players ever have. And the only argument that people have for why he won 2 MVPs are complete horseshit reasons. The only arguments I have heard ever have been number one, he won it because he's white, which is hilarious to me because he's Slavic. And it's all like, do you really think that skin tone is what white people go in for? Like, what the fuck? You know, there's a lot of differentiation there. Slavs, especially in the current political environment, don't really have a whole lot of popularity going for them, number one. And number two, the other argument I hear is that this is a weak era. And we hear that it's a weak era from the same people who cape up saying that Steph Curry is probably the second best player ever and saying that LeBron is now the GOAT. They will sit here and say that this is a weak era to justify Jokic winning 2 MVPs, which is baffling. So, like, just off of that alone, top 25 makes sense. If he wins the ring here and obviously finals MVP with the level that he's been playing at, it's not even close, man. He's definitely in the top 25 at that point.
Yeah, like I mean, I would take him over somebody like a Charles Barkley or Karl Malone at that point, who I know played a long time, but
Yeah, it gets to the point where it's all like, unless there's such a catastrophic drop off that like no one in the world could see it coming, or he like shatters his femur and he like dies or something tomorrow. It's like assuming that this guy has anything resembling a decent career, you know?
yeah. But yeah, this is the first time in a few years where I feel like following the NBA has actually been fun. Like I've actually been having a lot of fun with it lately. Thinking
Yeah, me
about this
too.
stuff. Which is why I'm thinking about getting 2K, and I'm really bummed out about the PC version being poop.
I am too, because that was a deal you were talking about. I was like, man, that's great. And then looking into it and finding all that out. For those of you who don't know, who are listening, who care about this, NBA 2K on PC is much worse than the PS5 and Series X versions because they wanted to promote people buying the new consoles. Because of that, the PC version has last generation's visuals, which is not that significant a deal. What is a significant deal is that it has last generation's game modes also. There is no My Eras, and I sold Joker on that big time, and it's definitely the winner for me. So that's keep it out. It's just so
And
sad,
like
man.
the reason why I get games on PC is so I can play this superior version. I'm not going to get it on PC if it's literally inferior in every way. That defeats the whole purpose. That video I sent you last night, the WNBA one. I
That
can't
was amazing.
I can't
The
believe he
fucking when the Kevin Garnett voice clip came in, I was dying. I needed to know that that was in there. I almost fucking choked. Holy shit. Because you can just imagine Kevin Garnett playing against WNBA players. He's got like a 2 foot height advantage on him and just devastates. Just sends it into the fucking bleachers. Get out of here. Oh my god.
Because I've often wondered, what advantage would you have to give the WNBA team for them to be able to beat an NBA team? Like, would it have to be 4-on-5? Would it have to be like, um, would it have to be like what would it take? Like, I think 4-on-5 would probably do it.
No, it wouldn't. Not even close. Because there was an exhibition before between the WNBA and NCAA athletes, and the WNBA All-Star team didn't win until they went up against D3. So, goddamn, if you're going up against, depending on the two players that you pick, two might not even be enough for the fucking WNBA to be able to beat, you know?
I mean, the thing is, if it's two players, the WNBA team scores every time down, right? Like, how could
And that's
you
the thing, is
possibly not?
like I said, it depends on the two. Because, like, obviously, right now, you can't get away with this. But if you took, let's just say it's a game of 21, 2-on-5, and it's LeBron and Kevin Durant, both of them in their peak, absolute prime years. So, that being the case, fuck it, we'll go ahead and call it 2014 LeBron and KD. They'd probably still win.
God, I mean, they would have to score every time down, basically.
That's the thing, is that they'd be able to, because Kevin Durant himself has, except for a very small handful of women, and they would not be athletic enough to be able to defend him. Because, think about how fast and athletic Kevin Durant is, how long he is, and his height. The only women that have a height advantage on him, there's like two stiffs in the WNBA who have like maybe an inch on him, but they are slow and not athletic. And then Brittany Griner's a maybe, but like, can you imagine her keeping up with him?
Yeah, I think Katie's actually like 7'1", and he just says he's 6'11" because NBA players
Right.
do that shit.
So like, it doesn't matter if he's getting triple teamed. He throws up that fadeaway. It's basically uncontested. And LeBron, in that time, was so athletic and so fast and so strong that if you took any five, of the WNBA players, their fucking all-star roster and all that shit, I feel like he'd be able to defend it well enough to like imagine you got KD on the inside, because in that kind of position he'd actually be able to fucking be an interior defender against women. LeBron just run around on the perimeter, chase them off the 3-point line, and make sure that they don't get a more valuable shot, and then KD just
Yeah, I mean, what if it was somebody like Dwight Howard who could just block every shot within like 12 feet of the rim? That might work really well because then like
You're
nobody's
right,
going to the
because
paint.
LeBron could basically get it done on offense too, to the point where you don't need KD's unstoppable offensive ability against that squad. Not only that, but Dwight himself would just absolutely devastate anybody. Like, that would be a case where he could actually post up anybody he wanted. Dwight Howard would have an almost 100-pound advantage on anyone in the WNBA. And if you're taking roids, Dwight, none of that is fat. He had like a 3% body fat when he was juicing. He would be able to back. You could actually have a man train, well, woman train, like all five of them just like fucking stacked up against each other. All of them trying to prevent Dwight from being able to back him down. I still think he'd be able to.
He's got a full Hezbollah on every other person on the court.
I fucking love that Connor quote. He's like, I can't wait to pick that little gimp up and toss him for a 3-pointer. I'm gonna boot him through the uprights. Holy shit.
I wonder how much KG regrets doing the thing where he would block shots after the whistle.
No, he doesn't regret that at all. That was like one of his most iconic things, and it was all about the mental game and trying to keep people from not getting in a rhythm.
I guess he did end up playing 21 seasons anyway, so it's not like it cost him.
Oh, right. You mean in terms of all the arthritis? If you're a professional athlete, that's coming regardless. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I mean, it happens enough to normal people. Anyone who's a professional athlete, even golfers. I
Yeah.
mean, you'd be surprised because we wear down the tendons and shit in our wrists just from like using a keyboard or writing. How you get the carpal tunnel, you know? Even golfers, fucking even professional bowlers.
Oh, yeah. I read something once about how, like, pretty much everybody who plays tennis for a living kind of just accepts that when they get older, they're not going to have a very good quality of life. Like, it's just, there's not much you can do about it because of everything that you do to your body.
But in terms of 5-on-5, in fact, I can't remember which WNBA team it was, but there was a WNBA team within the last 10 seasons that advertised the fact that in the off season they actually practice in their training camp. They play pickup games against D3 colleges men's teams because they're all like, this competition's stiffer than any competition that we would face in the regular season. So this helps us refine our game. And they basically never win any of those practice games.
Makes sense.
So, you know, you got that, and you got the very famous Williams sisters example with that one guy who was actively fucking smoking while he was playing tennis against them and
Yeah, I
kicked
know that
shit
one,
out of both. And my favorite, which is Ronda Rousey, who was saying that she could probably beat a man in a UFC fight, and then she got her fucking clock cleaned by Holly Holm after saying that shit. And it's all like, well, you know, somebody like Floyd Mayweather's going to give you a much tougher fight than that, sweetheart. So yeah, man, like, just, ugh. There's too much evidence that men and women cannot compete at the same level in physical events like that. And what it would take for a WNBA team to beat an NBA team, you would have to handicap the NBA team to such an extent it wouldn't resemble a game anymore.
Like baskets count for 1 point, 3-pointers count for 2 points for the men or something. That would be kind of fun.
You'd actually have to have them reduce points. Depending on the guy, you could even have a situation where like 5-on-1 wouldn't even result in the WNBA win, because if you took like if you took peak Wilt, I think he'd stun on them hoes, man. He'd fucking pop off.
Well, Bill Russell would just block every shot within 15 feet, probably. So they'd have to make their jumpers.
Oh, man. Tim Duncan would win because he would look at the WNBA team and just consider that 5 more friends. And friendship is the true victory. Speaking of Tim Duncan, I'm super excited, and my team is like the only guy that I actually want to go towards, and I'm trying to build a. It's ridiculous the way that my team's gone is because it went from being all-time greatest like fantasy players and shit to now you have situations where they'll take fucking. Hold on a second.
God damn it, I went to the wrong fucking island. How did this happen?
Anyway, yeah. So I'm trying to build around Tim Duncan and everything, but this is the shit right here. Like my team's gotten ridiculous because they do like fantasy nonsense where they want people to be able to take their favorite players and then they just have like superstar versions of them so that they can pop off and be competitive in my team. Fucking I got this from a booster pack was like a guaranteed that I'd get like an amazing player or some shit. 97 overall, Josh Giddey.
Oh, so it just basically turns into like a fucking gotcha game almost. Sounds like where.
Basically, because I was like, who the fuck is Josh Giddey? And then I was like, oh, he's a second-year player for the Thunder from Australia. They drafted him in the 2021 NBA draft, so this was his second season. And they're just like, yeah, peak Josh Giddey, baby. 97 overall.
I don't think
'Cause I'm
Curry gets
all,
up to 97 overall in 2K.
oh, there's 99 overall versions of pretty much anybody who's going to make the Hall of Fame. So yeah, it's the whole thing's a meme. Like calling it a gotcha game's pretty fucking on the nose. Yeah, what's really funny is that the fucking my team points you get them so slowly. So that's where VC comes in as being like the big alternative. Like, oh man, because you can buy the VC. And I have so much from all the franchise games that I've played, and you don't get VC from playing my team. You only get the my team currency.
I watched a tiny bit of Chris Smoove playing the My Player yesterday. Just looking at how like the progression system works. It looks okay. I guess when you upgrade a certain attribute, it often brings other attributes up with it. So you kind of have to waste attribute stuff on something that still, like, isn't really going to help you. Like, if you want to upgrade your on-ball defense, it also upgrades your defensive rebounding, which is not necessarily something that's going to help you, but you still have to spend the points on it.
Oh, right. Yeah, I forgot to tell you about that. When you make your fucking My Player, is you have to choose what kinds of areas you want to focus in terms of your player growth. So even though you won't get there right away, you'll need to pump a ton of VC in there to build up your actual stats. You have to choose your peak, your actual max, which kind of sucks. But you know, in one way, it's nice for the customizability, where you can sit there and say, I want to make a Dennis Rodman style guy who just focuses on defense and rebounding, and fuck my offense. And you can do that. But it's annoying because if you want to create an archetype of a player that actually exists, you kind of can't, because there's a lot of different things that you end up having to sacrifice for it. It's like, oh, you want to make a guy who's 7'1", who's a great jump shooter but also a great finisher and an amazing all-around defender. Well, that's just not going to happen, because since he's 7'1", he's going to be slow and not very athletic and all this other kind of shit. And if you make him a great shooter, then he's not going to be as good finishing inside. His post game's going to be whack and all that kind of shit. And I'm all like, hey, I was kind of thinking of Kevin Garnett here. That was someone who actually existed, and he's not held back by any of those negatives you're talking about here. The fuck?
Yeah, it's fun to do
So
stuff like
stupid.
that. Like, you could never. What you're saying is you could never create somebody like Shaq, who was huge and also incredibly quick and a great athlete.
Exactly. And it makes me laugh because I'm all like, I end up create when I played My Player in the past, I ended up creating like amazing hyper specialized guys like that, just because that was the quickest way to not only affect the game but also to develop yourself. Like, my favorite thing in playing My Player is I like to make either 3 and D guys, or I like to make tall big men. And when I make a tall guy, I'll focus on the rebounding and the defense and all that, which skyrockets your VC gains and makes you a great teammate and all this kind of shit, because you're doing really important things there. But I'm all like, I don't even focus on my offense until I've got those things locked, fucking maxed out, all taken care of. Then what I like to do is focus on post hooks, because post hooks to me are gorgeous. Post hooks are my favorite shot in basketball. Funnily enough, not Kareem's skyhook. And I watch Tim Duncan's post hook bounce off the glass into the basket, I get wood. I love it. That's my favorite shot in basketball. My second favorite shot in basketball is the floater.
Like the
So I'm sitting
Tony
here like,
Parker
well,
floater.
I could make a point guard with a great floater and all this, but like focusing on that, how many other things am I gonna have to sacrifice and all this other kind of bullshit? Like, oh, ugh, fuck.
Well, the thing is, when I play My Player, I always do a point guard. Because especially, I don't know if this is still the case, but old My Player, you never touch the ball unless you're the point guard, it feels like.
Yeah, you have to call for the ball, and calling for the ball, you only get it in certain situations.
Right.
Like, um, until I lost patience with it and moved on. Initially, I made a power forward who's going to be a big man, like I said, a Kevin Garnett type. Um, and I wanted to go to the Pacers. The first time I made a big man who I wasn't focusing on the jump shooting initially, because I didn't realize that I needed to build the way that I did. I messed up while I was building him. So because I didn't have a jump shot, it didn't matter how open I was, no matter how much I called for the ball, I wasn't going to get it. So then I redid it, and once I had those good shooting stats, when I called for the ball when I was open, they'd give it to me, expecting me to put it up right away and make the basket. But exactly what you're talking about is a problem. If you're not the point guard, you're basically never going to hit that fucking ball. It's very annoying.
Did you know that to this day, the Timberwolves have only won a postseason series in one season of their existence?
2004, right?
Right. They won two series, but that's the only season they've ever actually.
Yeah, I'm gonna be dead serious when I say this. I'm not exaggerating, and I'm not like saying this is hyperbole or this is going too far or anything like that. I personally believe that if an ownership group has held control of a team for a long enough period of time and that team has not become competitive while that ownership group was in charge of the team, they should be forced to sell. They forced Don Sterling to sell just for saying things that were both hilarious and based and also true. So, forcing him to sell over that, I mean, he made a ton of money out of it, and what they did is they showed that the league has the ability to force somebody to sell. Now, they might sit there and say, well, we want to sell when someone says something that we don't like. Why don't you force them to sell when the team fucking sucks and it sucks for decades? Like the Ford ownership group that owned the Detroit Lions should have been forced to sell a very long time ago because the Detroit Lions are an embarrassment to the NFL and their fan base deserves to have the ability to have a competitive team out there once like in a lifetime. Holy shit. And the Wolves are the same way. Because when you look at the history of the Wolves as a franchise, they had a case of meddling where they surrendered a shitload of draft picks. They had a case of they brought a guy back because he was really important to the franchise and they let him run the joint. And he had a plan moving forward, but unfortunately he passed away from cancer. And the plan kind of fell apart when other people started to get involved for the fucking Rudy Gobert trade, which was incredibly stupid because they traded away all their young, youthful pieces, the core that they were building around, and a shitload of future draft picks. At
Yeah,
this point,
it's. Yeah, it's
the
bad.
ownership group should be exactly like this team's been around for a very long time, and the only time that they've ever been competitive is when they had one of the best players ever playing for them, and it still wasn't enough to get it done. And they haven't come even close to competing since. The funny thing is, they'd have been a more relevant team if they actually drafted Porzingis instead of Karl Anthony Towns. I was watching this great video talking about it the other day. It's like the thing no one in the league wants to talk about, but Karl Anthony Towns is kind of not. He's just as responsible for the team not being competitive as bad decisions from the front office because he hasn't taken the next step. And when you look at a lot of the guys who've come to Minnesota and who then left afterward, they all had very similar complaints. Jimmy Butler was the one who aired it the most publicly, and what he had to say was, Karl Anthony Towns is soft. The rest of the people in that locker room are soft. They're not here to compete. I can't fucking be on a team like this. So he demanded to leave, even though fucking Tibbs was coaching that team. And Tibbs himself left to go to the Knicks because he came to the same conclusions. He said, I can't handle this locker room. These guys don't want to try. They're not competitive. There's no fire here. There's no drive here. And it's nuts. So, like, yeah, of course, Karl Anthony Towns, like, my whole point is that he deserves a good share of the blame here. But the ownership group needs to just fucking, like, at this point, say, you've had control of this team for long enough and you've made plenty of fucking money. You sell that team right now, you are no longer able to be part of this franchise. Now, what you've done is an embarrassment. Get the hell out of here. Sell it to somebody who wants to compete.
Yeah, they would probably argue that they can't get like NBA stars to want to play in Minnesota, so they're just screwed either way. But if that's the case, then don't have a team at all.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, but it's like, look, you only need the one guy who can attract people. Because, like, with the salary cap being the way that it is, people can make money no matter where they go. So, in order to attract free agents to your location, what you have to do is have a competitive team and make it so that these guys can realistically expect that they're going to fucking win. Minnesota is a much more attractive place to live than Cleveland So you can't sit there and say, well, we can't bring free agents over here. When fucking LeBron didn't have any problem getting anybody that he wanted to come over when he came back. You know, because Cleveland had all that fucking open cap space and all the draft picks and the young players and everything they managed to accrue over that long period of time. So LeBron basically just said, okay, I'm going to pick who I want to round this out. It's me, Kyrie, and then he chose Kevin Love, but he really could have picked anybody that he would have wanted. And no one would have balked. Because playing with LeBron and competing for championships, when they fucking won one against one of the best dynasties we've seen in the history of the league, like, all you need to do is have a competitive team. Now, it's not every day that you draft LeBron James, sure. But if Karl Anthony Towns was even half the player that he needed to be, and that they expected him to be, then that would have been enough.
Yeah, he's a heartbreaker, too. I thought he was a sure thing.
Right, but when you make moves like the Rudy Gobert trade, it's like, fuck, that's another big reason. Because, like, we're seeing Jimmy pop off in Miami right now. If Karl Anthony Towns was legit, and the Minnesota Timberwolves franchise was genuine in their desire to compete, they weren't run incompetently, you'd have Tom Thibodeau still be coaching that team. You'd have Karl Anthony Towns and Jimmy Butler on that team. Now, Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo have made 2 NBA Finals in the last 4 years, 3 Eastern Conference Finals in the last 4 years, and we're 1 shot away from 3 Finals in the last 4 years. Jimmy Butler is a great player. If he stayed, and if Karl Anthony Towns wasn't dog shit, and if that was a competently run franchise, he'd have a great future ahead of him. Because Jimmy and Cat would have been a great duo. You got Tibbs coaching them. All they need to do from that point is get a couple extra pieces together, and what do you know? You got a team that can actually win a fucking series or 2. And that's all you need, because like the Clippers, even though they massively underachieved and disappointed and constantly blew leads in series and all this kind of shit, the Clippers, since they got Chris Paul, have been a much more relevant franchise than they've been at any other point in their history.
And
Certainly
at the
at
end
any
of the day, the ownership cares less about championships than they do just getting extra money from playoff games and stuff. So on that level, the Clippers have succeeded.
Exactly. Steve Ballmer has easily made his money back. And the team's been far more competitive than they ever were when Don Sterling was running the team. That's all it fucking took. So it's all like, why can't you blow out any of these other ancient boomers who probably feel the exact same way like Don Sterling did? They just never been mic'd up over the whole fucking thing. Like, it isn't hard, man.
Someone in the chat just asked when you're going to start Diablo 4. Possibly tomorrow. I'm not sure yet, but possibly tomorrow. Apparently the initial release is pretty stable and solid. So we would have started it tonight if we had full confidence in it being good at launch, but it sounds like it is, so possibly tomorrow. But at this point, I don't think anything's going to stop us. Like, it seems like it's a winner.
Yeah, not only that, but there have been some complaints, and the complaints that people have had, I can definitely see that being something we might end up complaining about and being a problem going forward long term. But like in the interim, I don't see it as being a huge deal. The only problem I've seen people complain about, not stability issues, not bugs, not server problems, none of this. The big problem I've seen people complaining about is they've been complaining about character progression, in the sense of enemies scale with the player's level and a player's gear. So there's no real sense and feeling of progression because, you know, you're not really doing, additional damage. You know, you're not really having an easier time and all this kind of stuff. And that's a very common complaint that people have. If it's not addressed going forward, it will probably be an issue, but that's like months down the line, number one. And number two, It could also just be that people haven't figured things out yet because the game's very young. You know, it's an action RPG. Character builds are important. Play styles are important. Team combinations are important. As people complain about this kind of thing, you know, give it some time to figure it out. But who knows what may end up happening.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a winner, so it's at least worth playing. You know, I'm not asking for games to be perfect, especially not in current year when many games aren't even playable, like Redfall. Like,
And Gollum.
yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure I told you. I didn't mention it on chat. I think I just sent as a DM. But when I was watching a recent Donkey video where he was talking about Gollum, he made an excellent point, which is that for some reason, games that come out this year seem to also release with an apology letter from the developers.
Yeah.
Like, that's... There have been more apology letters from games coming out this year than Game of the Year contenders. That's just all kinds of fucking sad, folks. Ugh.
I mean, the crazy thing is that developers feel empowered to just release the game instead of, you know, like going like, oh, this is a disaster, we can't release this, and then just not releasing it.
Right.
Like,
Oh,
Redfall
man.
actually looks like it's salvageable. Gollum,
Holy
I don't
shit.
think Gollum could ever be good.
I just came up with an amazing idea for my team is you can name it whatever you want as long as the name doesn't pass by like the filter or whatever. What gets through the filter without any problems is Redskins. And you can have your team be from Washington. Now, right now, my team name is the Tel Aviv Dingleberries because I thought that was funny. But I could easily switch to the Washington Redskins. And I just saw something here because if I complete one quest line, then I unlock a 99 overall John Havlicek. I started thinking about it. I'm all like, what if I made an all-time great white team? Named them the Washington Redskins. And then uploaded a custom jersey design that would be like if the Redskins were NBA team.
I mean, yeah, you did see that that's what he named the WNBA team in, that's, yeah. Well, okay, what is the all-time white
that's
team? Let's think here.
that, that's what
So,
that's what gave me the idea. It's a question of if you'd want to have at point guard either be John Stockton or Pistol Pete. Steve Nash is also a contender, but I want to say Stockton at the 1 and then put Pistol Pete at the 2.
isn't Havlicek a
Then
2? Or is he a 3?
he's considered a small forward for the game. He can play shooting guard. It's SF/SG, which means small forward's his primary position for the game card at least.
Yeah.
So Havlicek could be at the 3. You could play Bird at the 4.
And then
The
Dirk could
real
be your small
question.
ball 5, but for like a normal center, it would have to be Paul Moeski.
I'm gonna check to see if Mark Eaton's in here.
Oh, I actually need to take a short break, guys. I'll be back in a few minutes. Be right back, Snacks, while you're looking that up. I
Yeah,
gotta
no
step
problem.
away. Okay, I am back, everybody. So, do they have Mark Eaton?
No, they didn't have Mark Eaton. But as I was looking around, now this that I was just naming is my prospective starting lineup. The bench would include others. I thought about, well, Jokic would be excellent to put at the center, but I was like, but I'm kind of selling out on not really having any defense. But then I thought about it, thinking about older players. George Mikan,
Hmm.
or however the hell you pronounce his last name, Meekin, I don't know fucking know. He's in here, 97 overall, and not only that, he's actually not just an amazing defender, but he's also a stretch big in this game, as
Really?
an 83 three-point shot.
I doubt that
Yeah,
was the case in real life.
because in real life, when he played, there wasn't a fucking,
Right.
so maybe he had a jump shot and they tried to replicate that, like, oh yeah, he'd be a stretch big or something. Like, who the fuck knows? But he's basically unstoppable in the post. But so yeah, sit there and say Stockton, and then Pistol Peace, Havlicek, Bird, and Mikan as your starting five, all white team. And then on the bench, go Steve Nash, Jerry West, uh, who would be the small forward you could throw in there. If you wanted to, because there's no doubt he'd have massively high fucking ratings here, Luka Doncic as the small forward there.
And maybe McHale could be your backup power forward?
That's what I was gonna say. McHale at the 4, and then Dirk at the 5.
Yeah. And then you have a little bit of flexibility. Obviously, Dirk can play center. I mean, power forward as well.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Mark Gasol isn't in this game, or I would love to have him for the defense.
Why is Mark not
But
in the game?
I'm not sure. I'm gonna check to see if Bill Walton's in the game. But yeah, I'm just making sure all these guys are in here. So far I've seen Stockton, Pistol Pete, Jerry West, Bird, Mike, and I need to actually write down the all-time white team in order to fucking actually have all this shit.
Maybe Jokic could be like one of your, 11th man or 12th man or something. Somebody who just hangs out. Maybe doesn't play a lot, but your team definitely won't suffer for having Jokic on it. It's not like he's a bad defensive player, I don't think.
Either do I, but remember that 2K is heavily biased by mainstream opinions. And the mainstream opinion is that Jokic is bad at defense. He's not, but that's what dipshits think. So probably his stats reflect that. I'll just look and see what his 99 overall card looks like, but... Okay. Okay. So... I'll check. We saw Jerry West. We know Doncic is in here. Look for Bill Walton. Yeah, Bill Walton's in here. Ooh, 99 overall. Goddamn.
Oh yeah, Bill Walton was amazing.
Holy hell. Bill Walton's unironically unstoppable on his 99 overall Blazers card. Holy shit. Yeah, I believe it. Auction house Bill Walton's price. Now, you gotta remember, the average price for absolute fucking peak, top of the line cards on the auction house is about 10,000 my team points or so. I see Bill Walton's 99 overall card on the auction house for 44,950 my team points.
How much would that cost to buy?
You can only get them with my team points. For VC, you might be able to convert VC into my team points. I don't know if you can do that. I'll check later, but I want to keep looking through this first before I do that.
Age.
Alright, so far the all-white team, everybody I want is there. So I'm just going to check Mark Price, Jokic, Kirk, McHale, and Nash's cards to see how they are. And I know they'll all be here, but I just want to see what their cards look like. Kevin McHale's card, very, very good. Yeah, Kevin McHale's card sitting here at, he's a 95 overall. And in my team points, it only costs 2,500 to get him. Now compare that again to Bill Walton's magical fucking 45,000 point catastrophe. Like, holy Christ. Believable. That is such a meme. There's a fucking Jokic card. This is amazing. There's a Jokic card where you have his positions as point guard and center, which means you could actually play him at the point because he's not. Cards are position restricted to only the two that are listed on their card. So you could actually toss him onto your fucking point guard slot. You want to know how much the cost is right now? There is no buy it now function, so it's just a fucking bid. Right now on the auction house for that card, 700,273 my team points.
Yeah. I still feel like there's a decent chunk of NBA fans that don't get him. They don't understand how good he is yet. Like, they're only vaguely aware. They don't truly understand what he is. So I'm kind of surprised to hear that.
Holy Christ.
Are you going to get him?
No, well, I don't have that much. But, this one's even more impressive. The bids actually cracked 1 million on this Jokic. It's not for a point guard, it's just center power forward. But his 99 overall rating has almost every fucking stat at 99. It also is respecting very much his defense. This card's got a 92 block, 88 steel, 90 perimeter defense, 94 interior defense. It's got way higher than the Joel Embiid card that I'm using, which is when you start my team, you have you can pick from 3 players: Ja Morant, Jimmy Butler, and Joel Embiid, and those 3 cards are upgradable cards. Where, and this is an interesting concept, when you do things with that player, once you pass certain goals and achievements, you get the ability to upgrade the card, which increases their stats. And if you want to upgrade the card in a certain direction, like if I want to make Joel Embiid a point forward, I need to get so many assists with him. If I want to make him more athletic, then I need to get so many dunks with him. But basically, the track's in an upgradable direction. It's just still good anyway. But the point is,
After this, you could do the all cancer team. Actually, there.
yes.
I was just saying.
Just looking.
After
Yeah,
you do the all
I heard. I heard. Who would be on the all cancer team?
Well, it has to be Allen Iverson, right? Because him being a cancer was like the ultimate meme.
Yes, Allen Iverson and Dwight Howard, and then that is enough super cancer to give everyone AIDS. Holy
Charlie
shit.
Villanueva.
Oh no! Oh god.
Arif Abdul Rahim.
Based. Okay, so all that's left is to look at Dirk, Price, and Nash. Holy hell, 99 overall, Dirk, let's fucking go. That lad's absolutely popping off.
I think anybody who won a league MVP should probably have a 99 card.
I agree, actually. Whew! A young 99 three-point shot rating. That's fucking amazing. Dirk, absolute legend.
Yeah,
boys.
he might shoot 23% for your team. With a rating like that.
yeah, pretty much. Jesus. Alright, so now all that's left is just to check that Mark Price is in this game. And then I have... Oh my fucking god. Marc Gasol is in the game! He's not in my eras, but he is in, he's in my team. It's really weird, but I'll take it, I guess. Okay, I would have Dirk play the 4, remove McHale from this list, and toss in Marc Gasol.
I think that's the right move, yeah.
We got 98 overall peak Gasol card. who for some reason has a 99 3-point shot too. This card is cheese. 99 block, 99 steal, 99 perimeter defense, 99 interior defense. That's what I'm talking about.
God, do they think he's like Dikembe Mutombo or something?
No, it's just literally like this. You said it's
Yeah.
a gotcha game or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. It's uh it's basically Pokemon, and then my team has like 8 different versions of a shiny, where each shiny sends the guy into a more ridiculous direction. Like I don't know if you remember this because you probably didn't play too much of this, but in Madden Ultimate Team, there's one of the most sought after cards is to get cheese cards that are the punter is the quarterback, and then he has amazing punter stats and is also the same quarterback guy. So then people run out there with their special teams, and their punter is actually Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady, and peak Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady, and actually functions as a punter. So people immediately just assume that it's a fake, so then you could punt for real and then pin them, or they go to defend the punt, and then you have like the best possible fake imaginable because now you have the actual fucking quarterback gets to pull it off. So yeah, crazy shit. All right, now I get to do the thing. Um, what the hell is a token? I don't even know how to get them. What's the point of them? Can purchase booster packs with VC. Send your players on missions? What the hell is that? Okay, so NBA, my team. Can I exchange VC? So the only thing you can do with VC is buy packs. You need my team points in order to get anything. There's auction house and stuff like that.
Hashtag pack watch.
Yeah, basically. Well, now I understand why this makes so much money. Because with VC, you get to buy booster packs. And booster packs are just a form of gambling. They're loot boxes. So people spend real money to buy VC, so then they can take that VC to open up the loot box. I don't know why people would, I mean, other than the gambling addiction, it's not like on Counter-Strike loot boxes where you can then sell the amazing thing that you got for like actual real life money.
I mean, that's what it is. It's like a gambling addiction.
Exactly. So I'm all like, man, no wonder they're making fucking tons of money off of this shit. They're just really scummy. Alright, I'll be back in a minute.
Sure. Alright. Rip Bozo. Right. It's not going to be that simple, huh? I have a feeling I was supposed to do that one a different way, but...
All right, Joker. What do you think about this? So, what if instead I name the team, because Missouri's an option. So what if I named them the Missouri Ghosts? And then you can have your team name abbreviation be up to 5 letters. Oh no, I'd need 6 letters. I was gonna type in spook.
Oh boy. I mean, I guess you could still basically do it. We'd all get the basic gist of it.
Absolutely based.
Unfathomably so. Let's see here. So apparently Julius Randle was playing the whole postseason with like a very severe injury. He had to have like microfracture surgery as soon as the season ended. So maybe that explains something.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize my mic was muted. I feel so stupid. I was gonna say, yeah, I heard about that too. I'm not gonna shit all over him because yeah, that does make sense. And like the Knicks are just better than they've been for a long time. It doesn't matter if he shrinks in the playoffs because you know it's just.
Yeah.
Hold on a second.
He could be like Karl Malone.
Anyway, so yeah, you know, I mean they're just better than they've been. Do I think Brunson's better? Yes. Do I think Brunson's more important to the team's success? Yes. However, Randall's not awful, and if he had like a severe injury that required him to get, I think it was like an ankle surgery or something. I, yeah, you know, fair enough.
And again, I do think Jimmy Butler's probably going to get some surgeries after this season's over. I think there's some stuff going on there. And he is finding a way to at least be productive. So it can't be, that can't be the only thing.
Yeah, definitely. I fucking hated, man, reading comments talking about the Heat Nuggets series. Because what happens as soon as Miami wins game 2? Exactly what the fuck I said. Exactly what the fuck I knew was going to happen. All of a sudden, you got all these mongoloids coming out of the fucking woodwork. Oh man, the Bucks would have won a chip this year. You know, Miami got lucky because Giannis was hurt. And I'm all like, Hero's hurt, Jimmy's hurt. At varying times throughout this postseason, Bam's been hurt. Fucking Strus has been hurt. Benson's been hurt. Robinson's been hurt. Fucking everyone on this goddamn team has missed time or played through an injury or sickness during this postseason. During the season in general, I told people we were better than our record, and a huge part of that was because people constantly kept missing time. Hero won 6th Man of the Year and has fucking missed the entire postseason. And
speaking of which, I wonder what the Pete do if he gets medically cleared to play before Game 3? Because that could screw everything up pretty easily.
Yeah, I would hope that he doesn't.
It's going to be really interesting if they have to make a decision there.
Anyway, so yeah, man, it's nuts, and everybody coming out like, oh, Janice was hurt, Randall was hurt, Tatum was hurt. I'm sitting there like, you motherfuckers, like, we have had so many people hurt this entire season, plus the postseason, as if all that shit isn't enough. Giannis's supposed injury, he came back and he played like 40-some fucking minutes in Game 5.
I mean, I guess the lesson here is everybody gets hurt over the course of the season.
Right, you know, number one, everybody gets hurt. Number two, if you're actually hurt to the point where you're going to complain about, well, the only reason we lost was because I was hurt, then why didn't you sit? Jason Tatum he also played 40-some fucking minutes in Game 7. If he was hurt that badly, he could have just sat his ass down on the bench, because he damn sure wasn't helping.
Yeah. I guess that's the kind of stuff you need a strong head coach for, someone with the balls to bench him.
I heard a great fucking comparison today. Jason Tatum is this generation's Paul George. And I'm like, you know, that makes sense, because Paul George dragged those Pacers teams kicking and screaming to 2 consecutive Eastern Conference Finals. But you know what? If Jimmy hits that 3 in Game 7 last year, the Heat are now 3 for 4 going to the finals in the last 4 seasons. Or to the point the Celtics don't make the finals last year. And then that comparison becomes even more apt. All you would have needed was in 2013, if Paul George scored a little more and LeBron scored a little less in Game 7, we'd have had a Pacers-Spurs finals. And it would have been the worst rated in NBA history, but what are you going to do?
Yeah. I remember back in the day, to troll Celtics fans, I would say that Jason Tatum was Rudy Gay. He was this generation's Rudy Gay. That would be a good way to set them off.
He was this generation's Rudy Gay, and he even lived up to the name too. He's a homosexual. Happy Pride, Boston fans. Just really rub it in there.
Yeah, and Jaylen Brown was Iman Shumpert.
He'd look a lot better with a flat top.
Iman Shumpert, like, sucked in college, too, is the weird thing. Like, he was literally a below-average college player. Figure that one out. And I'm so excited for the Vegas team to get the #1 pick in the draft and use it on Bronny James.
Exactly. What did I tell you? As soon as I spoke those words out loud, I was all like, I feel like I'm speaking this shit into existence. I am convinced it'll happen now. LeBron's gonna retire. He's gonna take a season off. Vegas team's gonna get the first overall pick in a rigged lottery. They'll draft Bronny. Bron will come out of retirement to play for the Vegas team. Play a couple of games here and there, probably like maybe 2/3 of the season just to pad his stats out a little bit. He'll maybe take every other game off, and then retire again for real, having fulfilled his dream, and then he'll buy the team.
It makes way too much sense to not happen.
Assuming it's allowed for him to play for the team and be a partial owner, he may actually buy the team before he signs with them. The only real conflict of interest that would come in there would be if he drafted his son after he bought the team.
He was the owner, GM, coach, and player.
It'd be the worst thing ever made by a human. Good lord.
You know Silver would let it happen because it would be such a fascinating story.
Right.
Like, you'd be like, hell
That's why I
yeah.
missed it. That's why I missed David Stern, dude. He said, "What? You got your father murdered because of your gambling debts to the mafia? All right, take a season off." What a meme. Oh man, I can't wait to make the all-white team.
Remember in one of those, one of the first drafts.
Oh my god, if you can make custom jerseys, I'm gonna have the team logo be fucking Cartman on South Park when he dressed up like a ghost.
That's pretty good. I remember one time during the NBA draft, it was one of those drafts where there were a lot of European players getting drafted early, and Chuck and Kenny were doing draft coverage, and, you know, one of them said, like, you know, man, there are so many guys getting drafted this year early who don't even know how to speak English. And then David Stern looks at Charles Barkley, and he's just like, neither could you.
Fucking A. Got him. You got this weird commercial that they're doing with Chuck now, where he's there with quote unquote young Chuck.
Yeah, I've seen that.
With the AI generated young Charles Barkley. That is fucking horrifying and creepy.
Yeah.
Anyway, I DM'd you my idea for my team's outfits.
You remember the scene in Django Unchained, the KKK scene?
Yeah. I actually loved that scene so much because it actually got me to feel bad for the dude who brought the fucking sex. Everyone's shitting all over him, and especially his wife. He's all like, "You fucking ungrateful motherfuckers! My wife stayed up all night long cutting holes in these goddamn sacks for you fucking selfish pieces of shit." And do you have a thank you to say? But no. I was like, "Fucking go off, King. Fuck these people."
The time I was really confused as why Jonah Hill would be in a movie for 30 seconds, but now that I think about it, like, that's probably the best part of being a big-time actor. You just show up for, like, 2 hours one day, film a role in a movie that ends up being extremely successful. And, like, that's a great way to spend your day. Like, Brad Pitt literally has, like, a second and a half of screen time in Deadpool 2. Like, it literally could not have taken him more than 5 minutes to...
Bleh. Alright. Wait, really? Buck.
What's wrong?
It's funny. I I share my Netflix account with my sister, and she recently canceled it, and I didn't care because I was like, anything worth watching's on HBO Max anyway. I want to watch Punisher Warzone after seeing Razor hype it up, and it's on Netflix, and I'm all like, this is the first time I wanted to watch something on Netflix in almost 2 years. It was unbelievable.
Pirate it. Those sites still got to be active.
Um, yeah, I figure I could look at a torrent somewhere. Actually, that's not a bad idea. Thanks, Joker. I know just the thing.
Yeah. My dad has a friend that is going to hook us up with The Flash in a couple weeks. Because I want to see it, but I have to punish Warner Brothers. So,
I was like, you mean the movie, right?
uh-huh.
My dad's got a friend. He said he's gonna show us a Flash
Yeah.
in a couple of days.
I mean, he would probably do that too, but he's not going to get anything out of it.
Good lord, that's good stuff right there.
Apparently, the second half of the movie just turns into a Batman movie, so that'll be kind of
Nice.
interesting.
As is tradition.
Actually, now that I think about it, I know very little about the Flash. I don't know if he has like good stories or, I mean, besides Flashpoint,
It depends on the Flash. Barry Allen seems to be the one that's heavily used in media now. But my favorite Flash by far is Wally West, and he has excellent stories.
uh, I'm punishing Warner Brothers because they're trying to sneak an Ezra Miller movie past us and hoping we just forget what a terrible person he is. Like, I think the Warner Brothers,
What did he do that was so bad again? Because I
well,
honestly
there were
forget.
some like there were some like drunken bar fights he kept getting into and stuff, but also he was like a groomer. Like there
Oh,
was some 14-year-old girl he like brainwashed her into cutting off all contact with her parents and living in a compound with him. And basically like I'm just gonna wait for her to be 18,
yeah.
but I'm gonna brainwash her into thinking I'm God first or something. And like when that happened, obviously the Warner Brothers delayed the Flash movie, and it was like, I guess they're going to have to cancel this because there's no way they're going to release a movie starring that actor in the lead role. But then they're like, no, let's just wait for everyone to forget.
Yikes.
I think the CEO of Warner Brothers even had a quote that was like, "This movie is so good it'll make you forget about the Ezra Miller controversy." And it's like that would be a bad thing.
Oh, yeah. Uh-oh. Yeah. Don't draw even more attention to it, buddy. That's the wrong move. Oh boy. Oh, for fuck's sake.
It would be like if a couple years from now Marvel decides to push forward with Jonathan Majors playing Kang as their next overarching supervillain. Like Disney sucks and everything, but I know they're not going to do that. Like they know better than that. Indiana Jones and the insufferable cunt.
Indiana Jones took him out with his whip.
I'm sure they have, but I'm not going to pay them money for it.
Hi. Oh.
Yeah, and obviously after this movie it won't matter because they're rebooting the entire DCEU.
Ah.
So after this movie, they can just easily flush him. And I can understand spending a ton of money on a movie and wanting to at least release it. I get it, but there's got to be a
Oh.
better way to deal with it than that.
Ah.
And when you think about it, Ezra Miller, everything he touches kind of turns to shit, even though he's not bad himself. Like the fucking Fantastic Beasts movies, he's in those. And that was supposed to be a
Oh, yeah, I
five-movie
forgot about that.
series. That was supposed to be a five-movie series, and they just killed it after 3 because nobody gave a shit. I just love that quote from the CEO of Warner Brothers. The Flash movie is so good, you're gonna forget all about Ezra Miller's crimes. That's almost as bad as when ESPN wrote an article about Jeremy Lin titled Chink in the Armor.
It's almost as bad as when the one airline named itself 9/11. God.
No, I do not, JS. It's like I knew quite a few people, and this is way back in the day. This is like the mid '00s when Kill Bill came out. They pirated it because they wanted to punish Tarantino for releasing it in 2 parts instead of just making like one movie. And they were like, "Well, fuck that. Now you get no money from me." Which, I mean, honestly, when you think about it, you could have pretty easily slimmed down Kill Bill 1 and 2 into one movie, I think. I don't think that would have been that hard.
Yeah, it really didn't have a whole lot going for it in general.
Yeah. Like, pretty much half of Kill Bill Volume 2 is Volume 1 scenes shown again anyway. So, like, you shave those out,
Yeah.
and you could get, like, a 2.5 hour long movie, and people see 2.5 hour long movies all the time.
Yeah, seriously.
Like, Endgame is the biggest movie ever, almost, and that's a 3-hour movie. But JS, I don't like where this is going. I don't like where this story's going.
Neither do I.
Well, that's quite a thing to admit to.
What, he says, Miller?
No. Okay, he's asking about, there's a guy on YouTube whose username is Feature Man. He's essentially this old 70-ish year old guy on YouTube who people loved him cooking microwave meals and low nutritional garbage, talking about his past in Hollywood, how he was a stage actor, etc. He grew his following and it was all innocent and cute and wholesome, seemingly. Then out of nowhere, like a week ago, he said he was convicted of a crime against nature and got off the death penalty on a technicality. And people looked up his
Oh,
name,
boy.
court date, and it's all true. He's a PDF file.
Oh, no. I like the way you put that.
I remember a while ago on the internet there was this one video of this weird, creepy looking old guy singing Pretty Woman.
Oh, no.
And people did some research into who he was. As it turns out, he's a sex offender.
Uh-oh.
A lot of weird videos like that on the internet.
Oh, fuck that shit. Can you run out of ammo or something at some point, you fucking cunt? Jesus Christ.
Are you still playing NBA 2K23 and you're like in the
No.
post against Steven Jackson or something?
The hell are you? No. I'm playing Evil Dead.
Oh.
This guy just has legitimately 8 billion fucking... He got to heal and it was total horseshit. I do not agree with that at all. Oh, fuck this game. You should not have to deal with playing against people who are Prestige 5 and you have no perks at all. Oh my god. This guy has a grenade launcher. Are you seriously? They split capped? Oh my god, you guys are miserable fucking people. Why does he just get to dodge infinitely, dude? Run out of stamina. Holy fuck. Like... 8 fucking... Yeah, I'm just gonna leave. Fuck these people. You deserve to die of AIDS. I'm not gonna play against that. Like, it's a 4-man split capping against me, and this guy... I'm not even shitting you, dude. He fucking dodged 8 times in a row and then shot a grenade at me. Never ran out of ammo ever. Like, dude, fuck these people. Holy shit.
Oh yeah, I remember this. But before I do this, I need to take a short break. I'll be right back, everybody. I am back, everybody. Welcome back. Snacks, you there?
Yes.
Do you remember
I'm
when
ready.
Devin Brown's face, right after McGrady did the 13 points in 33 seconds thing, became a meme?
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
Good stuff. I love when people make faces like that. That's the best shit.
Love it when some random dude's facial expression becomes a meme, like Mario Chalmers holding the trophy.
Hell yeah. That was my favorite too. Barnacles, Patrick. I suck.
Oh?
That man, damn it. Oh, I was just about to pop off on that fucking guy too.
The experience of watching Jason Kidd can only be summed up like this. Being at the bar, seeing this absolutely gorgeous woman walk in, watching her as she slowly moves to her table, sits down, and then she takes off her jacket and you see her mosquito bite titties.
Oh man, good grief.
That was from the Bill Simmons book. That was a line that got him in a not small amount of trouble.
Yeah, I believe him. That's far from his finest hour.
His point is the titties are like his jump shot.
I bet. Boy, I can't wait until they start an objective so I can actually get enough fucking infernal energy to be able to play this game. Holy fuck. This is brutal.
Your opponents are literally too incompetent to defeat.
Essentially.
It's like the episode where Homer became a boxer.
I didn't even want that fucking guy. God damn it. Why'd I pick him up?
Then he tried to make me touch his Wilhelm.
Kaiser Wilhelm.
It's verboten.
I'm literally trapped because Ghost Me can't get through this fucking fence. That is insanity to me. Nope. Okay. My god, what the fuck do I make it like?
Okay.
They have so many fucking shields, dude. I cannot do anything to these guys. How do good players handle this shit, dude? No wonder no one plays Demon. This is impossible. Everyone on their team is like 80 fucking health bars. I can't do any damage to them at all.
Why can't we get those players when we play Survivor?
Yeah, instead we just get people who leave.
Yeah.
Like, people who go AFK, people who DC, what the fuck? And it'll get easier when I get more points. These guys are all experienced players. Prestige 5, Prestige 5, Prestige 1, Prestige 3. These guys have been playing for a long time. They have lots of points and perks. They know what they're doing.
And how did they grind that whole period of time where the game was dead because of Epic Games exclusive? Good for them.
Well,
Exclusivity.
even if they're the only people playing, you know,
Uh-huh.
getting it done, I guess. Trying to set an absolute assload of traps. That's a good thing about traps, is that traps are guaranteed damage. Are you fucking kidding me that I don't... How does this guy instantly fucking manage to get that lucky? That is so bullshit. Possession. Alright. I'm just not even contributing. This is so sad. Yeah.
Alright, let's try going from here, I guess. This is going to take a while, but gotta try something new. Alright, let's see here. I'll take it. I never called Bill Belichick a genius, but I remember when he coached the Browns. He was such a failure up in Cleveland. The franchise folded up and left the town.
What the fuck? I don't even know, man. What a waste of time.
So,
Yeah, I feel like this is such a fucking pain in the ass that they should at least triple or quadruple the experience gains that you get for playing Demon. Get people to put up with this shit. I barely got the chance to do anything. Like,
so they need like an equivalent to barbecue and chili.
basically, this is outrageously difficult. Barrier to entry is brutal. Good Christ, man.
It does feel like it's ultimately in the hands of the survivors. Like, if the survivors play well, there's not a ton you can do. But if a survivor fucks up, you can just rip them to pieces.
Basically.
Here we go round the mulberry bush, the mulberry bush, the mulberry bush. Do you feel like playing with a controller as a demon makes it harder?
No. Because I remember playing Demon on PC before the quality got too much to the point where my computer couldn't handle it the first time we were playing. And it was extremely difficult to play Demon with a mouse and keyboard, so it's much easier with a controller. The difference is I'm not sitting there feeling like, man, I don't feel like I have enough control. I'm sitting here instead saying I don't feel like I have enough ability to impact this game, because when you start off slow, it's really bad, because Survivor players want you to start off slow so they have more time to loot. So now they have maxed out inventories with a shitload of ammo and a shitload of heals. You are underleveled and don't have the ability to contribute. By the time you finally get your levels to the point where you might be able to contribute, it's too late. You'll never be able to handle it, because they have infinite ammo. They're basically unstoppable. You can't affect them. They kill all your units within moments, and you're just done. So it's like, man, they need to make that early game not so bad if they're gonna have people play this and like do well, I guess.
Let's see here. Maybe we can make a vehicle that will help me get over there, but it's going to be so hard to drive down here is the problem.
Yeah.
There. I don't think they gave me enough to make a good vehicle. I really don't.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try to get creative here, I guess. May I please have a water? What happens here? Not really expecting anything good, but it's worth a try. Yeah, I can't steer it is the problem. Where the hell did all you guys come from?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see if this thing's any good. I kind of like spears more than swords in this game most of the time, honestly, so I'll do it.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy to me is that they have this thing called the tutorial, but they don't let you read more stuff involved. I'm gonna see if I can right now. Actually, let me check. So this was pretty funny. I was reading up about Subnautica Below Zero because I just finished playing Subnautica and I really enjoyed it. So I was like, hey, how about some more Subnautica action? There's a character in Subnautica Below Zero who actually is referenced in the original Subnautica. Now, the main story of Subnautica is that you crash land on this planet, but the reason you crash land on that planet is because you're a crew member of a ship, and the ship was essentially responding to a rescue distress call that was sent out by another ship called the Degassi, and your ship is the Aurora. The Degassi was a mining ship, and using their scanners, they detected there was a lot of valuable minerals on the Subnautica planet. So they go there, but because the Subnautica planet it was an alien research facility that was researching this bacterium that was a horrible plague across their civilization, and while they were researching it, they had a quarantine procedure in place where if the disease ever got loose on the planet, it would destroy any ship that tried to land or leave the planet in order to make sure that the virus didn't spread. So the Degassi doesn't know that. When they enter the planet's atmosphere, they get shot down. So then they send out a distress call, so the Aurora shows up, and when you show up as a crewman on the Aurora gets shot down. So you as the player, what you have to do is survive until rescue, and then you discover that you've been infected with this virus. Then you have to cure the virus, and by doing that, you deactivate the quarantine protocol, and then you're able to leave successfully. You build a rocket ship and escape. So the thing about this virus is that it kills extremely quickly. You get infected extremely quickly, and once you're infected, you're dead in like a week. It's basically the Black Death. The Degassi had crashed months before you end up there. Months. And there's a character referenced who's part of that crew who survived and leaves behind PDAs and such, who actually makes an appearance in Below Zero, which takes place like a year or two after the events of the original Subnautica. I'm sitting there like, okay, if she managed to survive for long enough, eventually she'd still be on the planet by the time cure was discovered and released into the atmosphere, so then she'd get cured. However, how the fuck did she live that long? This is a virus that when you get infected, it kills within a week.
I mean, is it possible she just didn't get infected?
No, because in the PDA it describes how she's been infected. How the fuck did she survive? And the developers are just like, I don't know, LOL, it's a mystery. And I'm like, that makes me not want to play.
Oh,
Because
that's yeah. That makes me think
you're
of the
not
original Deus Ex.
it's nonsense because they're not respecting their own source material, and that's relevant here because Below Zero became even more story focused and story driven than the original. It gives your character voice lines, there are cutscenes, interactions with other people, people talking to you. There are other people, NPCs in this game. The whole concept is a lot more story driven than the original was, and the first thing you're going to do is shit on your own source material just so that you can have a character and be like, hey, this lady's a badass. She survived since the first ship got shot down. What the fuck? Like, that's so stupid. And literally, it's just there for girl power. And the reason I say that is because these developers are cucked out. Because these are the same guys who didn't have weapons in the original Subnautica, specifically because they were like, well, we wanted to have players force players to solve their problems in a way other than violence, because that's just cheap and stupid and guns are bad and blah blah blah. Like, what do people do? They still use violence because duh, when there's a hostile creature trying to kill you, what do? You kill it first. Duh. Like, one of the first tools you make is a knife, because if you were in a survival situation, if you crashed on some desert island somewhere, one of the first things you do is make a knife. Because a knife is an incredibly useful tool for a lot of different reasons, and it's also needed for self-defense. What if there's wolves or wild dogs on that island? It's just so fucking stupid. So anyway, after reading all that stuff, I was like, man, I'm not even interested in this garbage no more. Yay! Okay, that's awesome. So the tutorial does let me actually read this stuff. It's really important, because for some reason it's the only function in the game that lets me do this, where you can look at the upgrade menu to see what the upgrades actually do. Because as you know, that's very important to be able to know what you should upgrade and when. Make a strategy so that you can have the right build for the right situation and win the game. Alrighty. Congratulate me. Joker.
What? On what?
I killed my first spider since the end of the winter.
Okay, that's worthy of some consideration.
When I kill a spider, I flush its body down the toilet. Because that's just what you do. It's tradition here. Anyway, yeah, that's one of the biggest reasons why I love winter. It's because, obviously, bugs and arachnids and stuff like that, they survive in the winter. But you never really have to see them or deal with them. And I love that about the winter. And it's one of the worst things about the summertime is now there's fucking flies everywhere. And there's spiders now. I hate it. Especially flies. I don't know if it's a huge problem where you live over in Washington. But do you have to deal with drain flies?
Not drain flies, I don't think. No, we have flies, but I don't think that particular variant.
Well, that's what's so annoying about drain flies is, as the name implies, they're almost an amphibious insect in the sense that they live in your drainage pipes and they can survive in watery environments. And they're annoying because all of a sudden you're minding your own business, and then one day you wake up and you're getting ready to splash some water on your face and there's a fucking cloud of flies in your sink. It's annoying as hell.
I don't think we have those.
What's been really nice though is that the local lizard population has really, really gone into a boom recently. There's a ton of lizards everywhere, and I say it's good because they're really helping out. It's been warm for a while. Like winter essentially stopped in February, but that's the first spider that I've seen in my house since. So they've really been eating a lot of these spiders. Go lizards, go!
Yep. That's what they call a stable ecosystem.
That's it, Maine. All right. Wow, that's brutal. It's not until you put 3 upgrade points into Infernal Energy that you start to passively generate it. That is crippling. About possession. Damage goes up. Level 3. Level 3 seems to be the magic number in general. But you definitely want to get that up as high as you can, as fast as you can. But I mean, how do you do that? Level 12, that's 11 points. 2, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. You need the level 25. Max all these points out. And I'm having trouble being level 10 in time for book and dagger and pages. That fucking sucks. Damage, health, cost reduction, cooldown reduction. Additional units spawn, plus it gives them weapons. Alright, let's start level 15 first. Oh shit. Plus, I mean, it being stunned is pretty good. Demonic dash, infernal energy gain boost. Fear level increase and cooldown reduction increase. Not bad at all.
Yeah, 206. I feel like they're gonna if they bring Harrow back, I feel like that messes up their chemistry. So I actually think they should probably just not do it. Just roll with what's going pretty well right now.
Yes. We would want to bring Hero back to see if it makes a difference. If we're on the brink of elimination.
They got blown out in the first 2 games. Maybe you would do it then.
Right. 2-0 or 3-1 is when I would have wanted to bring Hero back. If we lose the next 2 games, okay, now we can see if bringing Hero back makes the difference. But I am worried because I remember the 2020 finals very much. Once Dragic sat because he was injured, suddenly our bench started to pop off, and it looked like we were capable of winning the series, which brought Dragic back, and that not only brought back Dragic who was still hurt, but it also put our guys who were producing on the bench, so that basically fucking lost us the series. I don't want to see that same thing happen again, you know, because like our team is set. Like they are popping off with what's been going on. You'd want to bring Hero back if it looked like, well, fuck it, we've got nothing to lose now.
Right.
Otherwise, it just looks exceptionally stupid.
I remember very clearly that day when the Heat lost Game 6 to the Lakers. That was one of the worst days of your life.
Yes.
I
Yes,
actually
it was.
remember. And, like, honestly, the game was the last thing on your mind, is the crazy thing.
Must have been drunk as fuck. Was that in October?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be why. Fuck me. Yeah, game. I spent basically that whole day drunk. So yeah, I can't even remember what day it was. Yeah, I remember. I spent that whole fucking day drunk. I couldn't even remember the day. It was when you said that, I'm like, wait a minute. And I think I remember that now. I was like, oh, that's the fucking cherry on top, isn't it?
Yeah, not good.
Jesus Christ. That's a nice meme.
I figure it's been long enough now to where you can at least, vaguely...
Oh yeah, I don't, it doesn't bother me anymore. Not even a little.
Yeah.
It's the way that, it's the same thing. It happens, because you feel this way about anything in life, which is to say, when something goes that catastrophically wrong, you sit there and think, man, why'd I even fucking waste my time in the first place? That's just a disappointment. And that's what it comes down to. It's like, man, I wish I never met that broad. All it would have taken.
Do you know what Shaq's favorite movie is?
Kazam?
No, it's The Warriors.
Oh. That's a good movie. That's not what I would think would be Shaq's favorite, but
Warriors, come out and play.
can you dig it?
That is an interesting movie. I haven't seen Kazam in a long time. Wasn't he, like, trapped inside a boombox or something instead of a lamp?
That would be absolutely hilarious, and I hope that that's true.
I think it was. I think it was a boombox.
But I don't know.
Which country is the best place to get a mail order bride from? I'm thinking either Russia or Poland. I'd say you couldn't go too wrong with Russia.
Before the war and during, the answer is still Ukraine. Ukraine, unironically, is one of the, I don't know if I can really talk about this. You want to mute my mic for a second?
Okay, you're muted. Oh, okay. Good to get unmuted. Okay. Ooh, alright. This should be fun.
Holy fuck. I know it's just a tutorial, but they fucking wrecked that thing in like seconds. Matanye.
Kanye?
No, I said we Matanye.
Gotta admit, if he can find a way to bulk up a little bit, he is gonna be pretty scary in the NBA.
Assuming that his talents really do transition over. I'm very concerned because I got huge Thon Maker vibes from the guy. Yeah, see, this is the kind of shit that I'm talking about. The special edition 98 overall Julius Randle card. I mean, come on, dude.
Wonder if there's a 99 overall JJ Barea card.
Based.
99 overall Mario Chalmers card.
That's it, Maine. I feel evil for doing this, but I might as well. I don't want to open a pack yet. I want to keep shopping. Pick one card. Oh, you bastards. Fine. Man, that sucks.
Rip Bozo.
Pretty much.
Pack Watch. My buddy said Russian chicks will leave after they get green card. Maybe.
A lot of them will, and that's why I said Ukraine instead of Russia, is because in Russia that shit's practically a business. But regardless of the country and regardless of the lady, a lot of them will. You know, if they're willing to do that kind of thing, yeah, they're probably going to leave after you get the green card. The best way to take advantage of, you know, being a highfalutin Westerner who makes a great deal more money and all that kind of shit, it is not to bring the foreign woman here. It's to go live over there. If you bring them here, then they'll just act like all the rest of them. They'll divorce you after they get their green card, take like half your shit, and then go live the life they always wanted. But if you go live over there, you get to live like a king. Plus, she has nothing to gain by divorcing you. Because not only are the laws different, but as soon as she does that, the fucking Joyride's over. So, you know. There's another example. I don't even know who the hell this is. 93 overall Walker Kessler
Oh,
for the
that's the
Utah
Utah.
Jazz.
Yeah, he's like a center who's actually like a pretty good shot blocker. He's like modern day Greg Ostertag, I guess.
Fair enough. And this exactly the kind of thing I'm talking about. 93 overall. I don't even know who that is. It's a gotcha game, like you said. I'm like, who the fuck are these people? Ugh. Season 6 rewards Shaquille O'Neal only an 87 overall. What a meme. Oh, because you can it's an evolution card. You can evolve him to Pink Diamond. And then he is 99 overall. That makes sense.
Pink diamonds are cool.
There's another good meme. 93 overall Ruri Hachimura.
Asian privilege.
Basically. It's a nice meme, though.
Alright, guys. I think that's going to do it for tonight. It's almost midnight. I got to get out of here. See you guys tomorrow. Might be doing Diablo 4 tomorrow.